Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boxing Unlimited here once again, and today we're going to be doing a video of a fight that happened in 1985 between the Marvellous Marvin Hagler, and Thomas Hearns. These are both we're revisiting this fight because this is April. It's been 40 years since it happened, and it was a great 3 rounds, the greatest 3 rounds of boxing ever, arguably. And Thomas Hearns came out in that fight. On the day of the fight, he lost the power in his legs for no just reason. He didn't know how. According to him, he came into his hotel in the morning and found out that as he was trying to prepare, warm up a little bit, shadow box a little bit, he found out that his legs were gone. And then there's no way to call off the fight. It was the fight day, and then he didn't know what to do. But he decided in his mind that he was going to knock this guy out before his problem is exposed to the world. That is why he came out on all guns blazing on the day of the fight and attacked the Hagler, who we know is a solid fighter, a switch fighter, can fight on the southpaw and orthodox style, can fight on the front foot and fight on the back foot. And he's got one of the strongest jaw in the boxing history. I've never seen Hagler go down before in his career. He's somebody everybody fears, And Hearns on the day, because the Hearns had originally taken out Roberto Duran, the hand of stone, in 1983, and they knocked him out in round 2, knocked him down and knocked him helpless and put him down. And it took me a while to revive the hand of stone. So Hearns has been known, and the other day against Sugar Ray Leonard in 1981, he's also contributed to the retina that Sugar Ray had, the injury that his eye had on the eye that made him retire very early. So Hearns was known as one of the most wicked hitters in boxing. We saw what he did to a lot of boxers, what he done to a whole Roberto Duran, who was the only one to beat Sugar Ray Leonard at the top 4 fighters in the world in the welterweight and middleweight division then. So coming against Hagler was is a fighter that we've seen him to take the title in 1980 against Alaminta in the Wembley, and we saw what happened, the chaos and the carnage that happened in England then. So we know him as a very solid puncher, a very good chin. He has a very good chin. He can fight on the southpaw. He can fight on the orthodox. And then when they met up in April 1985, it was April 15 actually, 1985, and then it was a bomber fight. A lot of people never expected what happened to happen. We had expected that they will come out in the fight and try to, adjust and punch each other out. And we have felt that Thomas Hearns, with his longer reach, the bigger height, better height, and everything, he was going to come there and box and move. But the contrary was the case. Hearns came out, as we said before, because in his book, his biography, he said, asking him question why he fought the way he fought. He said his legs were gone on the morning of the fight, and he needed to take this guy out before he notices it. And exactly, if you go through the fight later on, from round 2, you will see that the Hearns was falling all over the place, not by the blows coming out from, even though the blows were contributing to it, but his legs couldn't hold his body weight. And well, that is what happened in that fight. And then Hagler on the other part was, when he came out in the round 1, and the kind of pressure and power that Hearns came through with his punches told him, look, I need to gain the respect of this guy, otherwise he will tear me apart. He had his head torn, he had his head torn, in the head torn as well. They were bleeding, he was bleeding from the head at the end of the first round, bleeding from the eye at the end of the second round, and he needed to make Hearns respect his power. That is when he added pressure to his game. The pressure he took over to Hearns was something Hearns couldn't deal with at the moment. We've seen Hearns, when he catches you with that right combo, you go down. But somebody has argued I had a talk with a friend. He said the problem Hearns had was his legs were loose, the legs were gone, so his power coming from him was not the same as it should have been if his legs were not gone. And I agree with that somehow, because Hagler actually knocked Hearns out with a flowing an overhand right to the head, to the side of the head, you know. And then Hearns went down, and when he came up, it was all over for him. He couldn't continue. His legs were gone, really. Had that problem, really. But Hagler under there acknowledged that that was the highest, the biggest test of his career. Hearns had him caught in 3 places, as we said, and had him on the back foot, but he came over, you know, and pushed Hearns back, and had Hearns on the back foot as well, and then dragged the fight, and then put the pressure he added with the punching power he had punching power, variety of punches, some to the stomach and some to the head. You know, Hearns had to go for the KO, no doubt about that. He couldn't box because he lost his leg early in the morning of the fight. That contributed to the defeat. That is no excuse, because Hagler on his part, you know, had to add pressure. And he's got one of the best shin I've ever seen in boxing history. Hagler took punches on the day, crackers from Hearns. Thomas Hearns, who we know had this right hand. He was undefeated when he met Sugar-Ray in 1981. He was 20 wins. And against Hagler, again, when he fought Hagler, he had only had 1 defeat in his career, which was against Sugar-Ray Leonard, and in their fight in 1981. However, that fight, as we said before, we've said it in this channel before, but in another video, that channel gave each one of them more than 10 million pounds each, and Sugar-Ray had 11 million, Hearns had 10 million. For the welterweight division, it was the toughest. Well, you know, it was the highest. The highest before then was set by Muhammad Ali when he fought Ken Norton in 1976, was 6.9 million, that's $7 million. But this man came in 1981 and topped the case and topped everything. You know, so we see boxing has been a big money earner for those involved in it. Changes the life of so many people that are involved in it. You know, however you look at it. But this fight was a brutal fight, and the finish was brutal as well. You know, having said that, we pay respect to Marvellous Marvin Hagler. May his soul rest in peace. He's given up. He's gone to he's passed on a couple of years ago, and we'll see that Hagler. We'll talk about him today because he's a legend. He's made his name in boxing, and he's had a wonderful career. Had a good fight against which we see was one of the best fights ever in boxing. The first 3 rounds were blast. You know, everybody, nobody, even the people watching from I had the first person, Gloria Estefan, so I was asking a person near him when he watched the fight. It was the first time he was watching a boxing match live. And after the first round, he said to the person, "Is it the way it goes here?" Because, you know, punches were coming from all angles from both guys. They were hitting to kill, hitting to finish, hitting to, you know, end the career of each other. That is boxing, you know. We saw boxing in that fight, and we believe it was a good fight. And that is why we're revisiting the fight today in this month of April. And that's it. That is the thing, you know. We're looking at the younger boxers coming up now. There is nothing like that again anymore in boxing, and we feel boxing will be revived, and the kind of prestige it has will come back again. And our time is done in this channel today, and we urge you to subscribe to our channel, make the channel grow. We'll be with you again after this time out, and we'll come again with another boxing story for you. Do have a nice day, and God bless. Bye.